Welcome to Anime of the Week, the series where every week we look at a different anime and recommend it to maybe watch or not. This is a terrible intro. Welcome to the first episode. It probably get better in future videos. This week we're looking at the series The Dangers in My Heart, which is a series you should watch if you enjoy Horimiya, Hunderkun, Maid Summer, Romance Killer, Kagura-sama, Toradora, A Silent Voice, and to an extent, Rent a Girlfriend. Or enjoy slice of life, romance, and or comedy series. The story follows Ichikawa, a socially withdrawn and reserved 13-year-old, and Yamada, the most popular girl in school who is also a model. After a chance encounter in the school library, an unlikely friendship begins to form between the two. While Yamada believes them friends and begins hanging out with Ichikawa, doing casual activities that friends do together, such as hanging out, eating snacks, sharing stuff, working on class projects, and taking care of each other. Due to his experience being ostracized by his classmates when he was younger, due to his love of true crime psychology, Ichikawa has created a barrier between himself and others, repeatedly repeating the same mantra to himself that he is messed up in the head, in order to stop himself from being put in a position where he can be hurt again. So believes that all of Yamada's actions are actually some form of mockery or pity. I just realised I'm saying Yamada, it's Yamada. Don't leave a comment. I caught myself, okay? I caught myself before I realised I've been messing up. However, as the series goes on, bit by bit, Yamada manages to unintentionally chip away at Ichikawa's barrier to bring the truest version of who he is out and help him grow as a person, resulting in the version of Ichikawa we see at the end of Season 2 being a far reach from the version he began as. And if this series sounds interesting to you, fear not. Whether you're a sub or dub only watcher, this series has both an amazing dub and an amazing sub for you to enjoy. It currently sits at 2 seasons, with one season made up of 12 episodes and the second season made up of 13. Season 1 being released in early 2023, with Season 2 airing in the first week of 2024. And is a series you can binge in one day in one long 8-hour sitting period and do absolutely nothing else productive that day, which is totally not what I unintentionally may have done. It's a good series, okay? It's kind of hard to put it down. While no Season 3 has been announced, the Season 2 ending wraps up the story in a neat bow, where if no Season 3 is released, the story feels complete enough as it is. However, also has the space to continue. Season 1 covered the first 57 chapters of the manga, while Season 2 takes the story up to chapter 113. While no Season 3 has been announced, each season covers around roughly 57 chapters, with the most recent chapter being, as of the time of releasing this video, chapter 154. Norio Sakurai, the author, releases roughly 2 volumes a year, each made up of between 10 and 15 chapters. Because of this, my speculative non-backed theory is Volume 12, which would contain Volume 170, should release around mid-2025, and we can expect a Season 3 announcement sometime early in 2025, or even at the tail end of 2025. I originally found this series when it was airing back at the beginning of 2023, and actually ended up dropping it after the first episode, as it felt like another generic misunderstanding series, such as Watamoe. Or is it Watamoto? You know, I've never known how to say that title, and I don't care enough to look into it because that series is that series. With Ichikawa being an almost perfect gender swap stand-in for Tomoko, and is a series I believe would lean way too far into the edginess of the character. Of course, as the series goes on, this turns out not to be true, and I'm so goddamn glad I gave this series a second chance, as the series becomes this extremely personally enjoyable slice of life romance anime. However, similarly to School Lives, this is a hard series to recommend on just the first episode, because the first episode isn't really indicative of what the rest of the series represents, despite the fact that it is the first and most impactful introduction to the series. On top of which, the series has a habit of falling back on the also common trope of, oops, how did we end up in this compromising position? Or even the, I swear this isn't what it looks like, trope. However, even though it does frequently use them, in most cases, it's just grounded enough to be believable, if not mildly unlikely, and something you can allow the suspension of disbelief to handle. and only rarely sliding into comedically unbelievable to the point that it doesn't really break the immersion of the series, unless you make a video specifically addressing the call out of it, where you have to look for these scenes in a series, like I'm currently doing. Whoops. Despite the amazing cast of Yamada and Ichikawa, with supporting roles from Yamada and Ichikawa's classmate, out of all the characters, the socially awkward, unintentionally initially intimidating Titan, who is actually a really caring person and has a deep passion for gaming and baking, Yamada's dad, is my favourite. I can't imagine why I related so strongly to this character. If what I've described so far is enough to make you want to watch the series, fantastic. Leave a like and off you pop. Go enjoy the series. There's 2 seasons. It's great. The more people that watch it, the more likely they're going to make a season 3. So do us all a favour and watch that series. I got hair on my face. There'll be a new anime of the week next week, and if you want to suggest for animes that should be in that, leave a comment recommending it. Just make sure to read the rules of what animes I can do an anime of the week in the pinned comments. And if you want to be notified of that video as soon as it goes live, the best way to do that is, well, the obvious thing. Be subscribed and turn on notifications. Self-promotion. But if I have yet to convince you to watch this series, let me give you some more golden nuggets for reasons to watch it. I love the realism of the series, and it's surprising how grounded it can be. As I mentioned a moment ago, the series does lean into the unfortunate situation tropes. However, the series carries itself as a grounded series overall. Yamada has a plaster on her nose for a few days after getting hit in the nose with a basketball. Ichikawa breaks his arm and it is a massive plot point. His voice breaks and Yamada's character model changes as they start to go through puberty. And as silly as it sounds, the fact that the boys in school actually joke and talk about topics such as sex, their genitals, and swear words as teenage boys actually would is surprisingly refreshing and makes the series that much more grounded, as well as the series addressing the subject of periods and body positivity. Even though the series plays it off for laughs, the way that Kenta talks about Honoko's weight and the way that he just wants her to be happy as she is, as he thinks she is beautiful just the way she is and that she's perfect, legitimately caught me off guard. Which is another thing the series manages to do, having moments of real seriousness that caught me massively off guard. One moment the characters are making jokes, and the next the series has successfully transitioned into a moment where they're talking about their insecurities, weaknesses, and or vulnerabilities. And it works because the series is at a point where the relationships between the characters, who are most commonly Yamada and Ichikawa, feels real enough that they have formed this bond where they feel safe and comfortable being that vulnerable in front of each other. However, despite how impactful some of these scenes were, the series also left me on multiple occasions laughing so hard that my stomach hurt. That real guttural fee-fi-fo giant laughter where from the pits of your stomach you cannot hold it in, you are laughing with that deep real laughter that you can't even hold in. It's amazing to have a series that can have you bawling your eyes out and you don't know if it's from the series making you cry or making you laugh so hard your eyes water. As well as the character construct of Nagorikawa, a character representing Ichikawa's inner voice, presented as the main characters of Yamada's favourite manga, and being a peak form version of Ichikawa. And on top of all of that, I have literally just finished the series about 2, maybe 3 days ago at this point, and while making this video, I have to source a ton of clips from the series, so we'll most likely have to rewatch it through again. I will most likely be watching the series again for a 3rd time within the coming weeks to month, or before the end of the year. So if that's enough to pique your interest and I've convinced you to watch the series, you should go watch The Dangers in My Heart. Smash, 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 pass, smash, smash, snip, pass. When I was a child, there was an age-old war. Well, it's not really age-old if it was from when I was a child, and it only started when I was a child. Messed that up, but when I was a child, there was a big argument between which is better, Digimon or Pokemon.